So last time you guys helped out Kermit in controlling his out of control magic, and you had a day to sort of load up on resources and just go about the city and do what you do. So Limwin, you helped return a small child to the temple who got lost. And Thranduil, you helped cure a whole bunch of Olynthe of the Soul Curse with Nova. You guys got to catch up and stuff and talk about babies. And Ariza also went to the Temple of Ideen, got in contact with her deity, and the Lady Ideen told her that she needed to go west to Yvonda as soon as possible to do something, and it was urgent. So she bid farewell to all you guys, and she took off. And meeting up with Kermit that evening, you found a very frustrated wizard to be, and offered him some help in his research, discovering that Dion'fae might be the only way to go after looking at the Book of Fate. And so you guys decided to go to Enomar, where the last Temple of Dion'fae is, and so you guys were able to get past there with kind of the headmaster's permission. Got there, went to the building of the Latinier, searched it a bit before you encountered a vision activated by Atlas, discovered by Atlas something, where it just showed the Latinier of Treyam bonding and having a good time. And so that's where we left off. So
we ended in the room where the vision led us to, like, all the chairs in a circle with everyone sitting around, like, laughing. That's where the vision ended, right?
Yeah, that's where it ended. And so, two things that you guys noticed. You noticed that Alinar was wearing the necklace that's in the front cover of Fate's Guide.
There's a necklace?
Yeah,
in Fate's Guide?
Yeah, and then one day I decided not to bring it.
What the heck?
It's okay. I'll show it later. And the second...
Damn it, I wish Lexi was here.
Yeah. And the
She would know exactly what that means.
Yeah. The second thing you notice is that Alinar's drawing in the vision was of Linera and Treyam, which is one that you currently have in your possession now, Thranduil.
Wow. We had to just jump right into the fields today.
And so as you guys all sort of like recover from that vision, reeling a bit more than others, Atlas kind of goes out of the room a little bit and then realizes that like each of these rooms, this one and the previous one, had name tags on them. And this one is labeled as Calamer's room. And the previous one is Manifair's.
Oh. I go to Treyam's room.
Okay. Treyam's room is one that is directly across in the hall. So,
It's the trap.
check,
Am I gonna die?
check for traps. Sure, you can check for traps. Make a perception check.
Woo! All +1. 12.
Looks fine.
Sweet. I open it. It's
Okay,
locked by a
so-
DC 30 lock.
Yes, no. There's no door.
Oh!
Yeah.
I walk in.
The building's ruined, man. So you walk in and you see that this room is still pretty worn down just because it hasn't been used for a number of years. So you can see that there's sort of a woodworking station immediately to your left. See a desk in the corner, bookshelf, a side table next to his bed that has a whole bunch of carvings, which are pretty dusted and some of them are kind of meh. And you also see a mirror on the wall that is cracked. So.
If I look into each piece of the broken mirror, are they all the same?
Make a arcane lore check.
Oh, yes. I need to actually check. That's fine.
We're in the weird. I barely remember last session. We're in the weird building with where all the Azarians were.
This is the Latenier building. So most of the Azarians, when they had a Latenier, this was sort of like their adventure home, quote unquote. And so this one is Tram's.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just kind of look at stuff, but not super interested.
I guess make a perception check.
Oh man.
What do you
And I
got?
got a 17 lore.
17. Dang. Okay, first thing you know about this mirror is that it is dwarven made. It is a cracked, looks like it was once infused with magic, but then was purposely broken. And looking at this mirror, you can also tell that it's one of those like communication mirrors that you've seen a few times.
Like, especially in the tower, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So given all this information, you probably can piece together that this is maybe Tram's way of talking to Lanera.
Well, that's freaking sad. Any books?
Any books? Looking at the bookshelf, pretty ruined or rotten just from the years of decay, and it looks like this building wasn't really touched. Just because of giving like sanctity to this place, it was sort of the Azarians' territory, and I guess none of the Latenier really came back for it. So all these books are pretty messed up. The few that you can kind of read or see what was once written on the spine is just books of the Azarians and maybe like their stories. But again, most of them are wrecked. What did you get, Lemoyne?
11.
11.
I see nothing.
You can see that, I'm assuming you're just in Calamir's room. So you see a stand with a mirror attached, and you can see that there is a compartment that is locked.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, just for clarification, Kermit had sort of suggested that you guys look for a map of the island to see if maybe one of the Azarians found the location of the temple.
Right. You said that's a locked chest or case?
It's a locked compartment that would have been pretty well hidden if it wasn't for the years of decay that sort of revealed it, like poking out from behind the mirror. Are you wanting to pick the lock?
Oh yeah, I do have that as a focus. Then, yeah, I totally will.
Sweet.
Cool. 17 again.
Holy. Yeah, you easily pick this lock. And you can see that it's actually like a hidden drawer that slides out. And there's a bunch of medallions in this drawer that are sort of like have a lock in them. Like they can just twist and they lock in place. So there are 4 medallions. There is a 5th spot, but it's empty. And so all of these have a fox head on them.
That sleep. He's not going to survive. I already hated him, and I hate him even more. It's Bran. Bran had a fox medallion. I remember in the alleyway when he was talking to Yue. He had a fox medallion.
Yeah. So?
Stole it!
Okay. So you see Atlas come up, and she just sort of like, sweet, let's try this on. So she grabs one of them. Okay, she puts it on, and Thranduil, you instantly recognize the visage of Calamar. Atlas is now Calamar. And she takes it off, and then she's Atlas again.
When she has the medallion on, can I see the medallion, or does that get sucked into the illusion?
No, you see it.
Okay, so Bran was using one of these. He didn't look like...
He didn't
Take a different one and put it on.
Okay. You become a halfling. Yeah, so Kelamir is a halfling, but this one is another halfling, but different. Sort of dressed in some pretty, like, kind of traveling, but almost fancy robes. And, got a, like, pouch that's, like, overfilled with gold. Make a intelligence historical lore check.
Historical?
Yeah.
Okay.
As you look yourself in the mirror to see if you can recognize this individual.
Okay. Oh! Frick yeah! I got 6 stump points.
Ooh.
I rolled a 17 on these first 3 dice. They haven't rolled below a 9 all day.
Dang.
I'm loving them. So that's 14, so 19.
Okay. You also recognize this figure. This is the merchant Tumdry Quickgold. He's quite famed for the merchant world, and you actually got cheated by him a few times, like just like classic like gambling, see who can drink more type of thing.
One of those
So-
people.
You're starting to draw the line that Bran did say that he wore many hats in the past. And you get the sense that you have now found his collection of hats. And one of them was Kelamir, which he had also
So
said was his favorite one.
So Kelamir has been dead for ever, and Bran's just been taking his visage?
You don't know where Kelamir went. But when
like that.
you and Ariza confronted Bran with the name Kelamir, it created a reaction. Like,
Yeah.
he recognized the name, and he wasn't exactly too, I wouldn't say he wasn't too pleased, but it caught him by surprise hearing that name again.
Sorry, what was the guy that I look like? Merchant what?
Tumdry Quickgold.
I take off another one and I put it on.
Okay, you are now a dwarf who is dressed like a sailor, but again is more extravagant, and to your side there's a belt where there's like a loop that you can stick a sword in. And based off of your previous role, and you start getting a theme going on here, you also recognize this one. This is the pirate Stormy Eye. He's a gentleman pirate that would mysteriously appear during storms. Very few casualties. He typically charmed his victims to giving him their goods. It was always believed that he ran with rejected psychic mages, as he always had a human at his side.
Oh. This is like, okay. Next one. There's one more left, right?
Yeah. This one is a very handsome halfling, but you have no idea who this is.
Do I?
Sure, make a check, man.
What is it?
Historical lore.
Intelligence?
I'm just gonna put down handsome dwarf.
Probably not.
Yeah. Halfling. Not dwarf.
Oh!
Yeah.
Yep.
The pirates, the
The
dwarf.
other short one.
So, this one you don't recognize as well. Minwin.
Mm-hmm.
Current's probably gonna follow into Tram's room. And he's gonna have a look-see. Ooh.
I just turn to him in my handsome halfling form and say, "Who am I?"
Okay. We'll see if he knows.
You won't, but let's try. Is a 6 intelligence.
Kermit does recognize it.
Oh!
It's
Yeah, so this handsome halfling, it's not surprising that you or Limwin don't know, because this is a person who is supposed to be dead. Kermit himself doesn't actually know the name, but he, like, just the appearance and the clothing is very reminiscent of a ruler of some province in Elis that was destroyed by Nero during the time of I can't remember which Azaran it is off the top of my head, but Nero had done some invasions or something and had destroyed this small province.
This wasn't in like 7-0, like
No,
this wasn't like the 3 battles.
This was like before your time.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's a very small pocket of history that no one really remembers. But just based off the clothes and, again, just sort of the appearance of this individual, Kermit sort of says, this kind of reminds me of someone who might have lived in Elis. Heard legends of this kingdom or this province that fell from Nero, which is now a part of Nero. It's one of the provinces, and that's how they gained one, but don't really remember much more than that. You'll have to do research into that one.
Mm-hmm. I will. Can I take all 4?
Yeah.
I put them in my bags.
Yeah.
But I, like, split them up. They're not all in one bag.
Okay. Good to know. So Kermit looked into Trium's room, and he also finds a hidden compartment in his side table.
Does it have a Death Arcana book in it that has a specific spell?
No, it is locked, so he does call you over, Thranduil.
1 second. I hobble over. Okay, lock picking. Woo! Oh my gosh! I keep rolling 12s. That's 18.
Holy crap. Yeah. So you open it up, and surprisingly pretty well preserved. You find letters from Lanera, yourself, Umara, who is Wolmar's wife, and Wolmar himself. And you can see, just rifling through these letters a little bit, that these are like more personal and friendly letters. And it's really weird for you, I guess, sort of hearing from Ariza that Wolmar is Nasakian, and yet you see Wolmar and writing these kind of playful banter letters to Trium. His are more business-like, but there's still just that hint of like undertone of friendliness. And at the bottom, you see portraits of Lanera, his mother, Ilvil, and the Latinier themselves. You also find a drawing for you, Thranduil, which is recognizable, of the cabin in Beska. And that's what you find.
I take those as well. I'm just like stealing all of Trium's crap. I'm just like, there's his sword, there's his personal letters. Oh, magic items, mine.
He's dead, it's okay.
Thanks for the reminder.
Alright. What other rooms do you guys want to check out here? You search Vanderfair's.
I personally want to go to Vanderfair's next, but I'll let Limway choose the next one.
Limwin?
What? I honestly don't care.
Okay.
Because I don't know any of these people. This is more Thranduil's.
Right. You'll just go to Belgrin, and Atlas is going to check out Alinar's room. Kermit's going to join her. Thranduil, you've gone to Vanderfair's room, so is her name Taru? Taru's going to join. Okay, so both of you guys make a perception check. Perception, we'll do searching. Yes.
Can Toru help me with perception?
I got 18.
I suck at it.
Yeah, so you'll get advantage. So you roll an extra d6 and then take away your lowest die roll there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get rid of that one. That actually was really great. So it went from 10 to 15.
Heyo. Her room, unfortunately, doesn't contain much. This is the most overgrown part, which kind of makes sense because she's an Olynthe. So you But you do surprisingly find out that she's a really good cook. Just from her embracement of kitchenware and such. And you didn't realize that she could cook, so.
I go back. So why aren't you working for Nova?
Yeah, but in the corner you do find like a garden full of some nice plants and stuff that Taru like carefully starts harvesting just for a collection later, maybe to grow her on her own time. What'd you get, Linwood?
18.
18. Okay, so Belgrin's room. You instantly see an arcane circle in the middle of this place, although the circle itself is kind of like dusted over and scratched out over the years and such. You see a desk with a bookshelf nearby it. There's also a bed and a very broken down, kind of falling apart loot there. The interesting thing is that this bookshelf is perfectly preserved. And so as you step forward, you pass through an invisible arcane curtain, and it looks like Belgrin had put up something to protect these books from the elements.
I love this man.
Going through this book, along with Kermit, you find records of the Latanier's adventures, with Alinar's sketches accompanying it. You also find some spell books on like healing, fire, and power arcana, just basic stuff. And you have the exact descriptions of locations. Looks like down to the minute detail. And Kermit, looking at the arcane circle and seeing these books, he's like, Belgrin knew how to teleport without a fabrical. That's crazy. Didn't need a Trellstone. Amongst this kind of textbook of locations and handwritten descriptions, you also find the map of Enomar. Whoa!
Woo! Good job, Limoy. You're the most useful one here. I'm just going through and getting out some personal knickknacks. You actually do the quest.
And on there, Kermit sort of examines it for a bit, and he points out one part of the map, and he says, it's there. The temple is there. So he points to Mount Demos.
And where exactly is Enomar again? Is this the one that's off the coast of Ulyss?
Yes. It's below Fennel, and then between Fennel and Arden.
Oh, it's that. Oh. Yep, Order of Yaethra. Yep.
So, like I said, it's a lot smaller than that, but...
Yeah. But that's good for me to know.
So, Kermit points out Mount Danos, and it's just sort of like, I got a gut feeling that it's there. So, that's on the other side of the island, essentially. You guys are on the east side, it's on kind of like the northwest corner. But Kermit has a very determined look in his eyes. With that knowledge, Kermit sort of recommends that everyone get some sleep tonight before you guys head off in the morning.
So what time-ish is it? Sorry.
It is evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we're gonna park down for a nap, we should choose one of the rooms. We should all sleep in it because I don't want to get ambushed on an island. And then, just real quick before night happens, I'm just gonna go through and I'm just gonna read specifically all of the letters from Lenara and the rest of the order.
Okay. How late are you staying up doing that?
I'll spend like 45 minutes to an hour, like not enough to like ruin my night, but
Okay. Atlas is also like, should we have watches? Just, we're on a...
Oh, I'll take first watch and I'll just read letters while I take first watch then.
Yeah. Alright, so you'll take first watch. Kermit wants to take second watch. Limwin, are you wanting to take third watch, or are you... Okay. So Thranduil, you take the first watch.
Is it perception?
Yeah, we'll do perception, whatever you think would be good to help you keep an eye out.
I don't have anything,
Oh,
so just
doesn't
perception.
matter.
10!
10. Man, those
4
letters.
set points.
You kind of get a
Yeah.
little caught up in the letters, and you kind of look up. At one point, you're like, "Oh dang, my watch is almost over," type of thing, and you didn't even look up once.
Whoops.
So the interesting thing, I guess I should say, is that the letters between Lanera and Treum, they go back before he had a Latanier. This is when he was away from Farron Woods doing training in like Arden or in Omar, I like to say. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, these predate like him traveling with the Latanier. It's when he's training to become the quote-unquote Azarian. And so
like right around the time I first would have met him.
Oh, you already knew him at this time because I think he grew up in Farron Woods, and so it was when he left that they started exchanging letters. So you kind of are able to read her struggles in sort of like him not being there and knowing that he's having a hard time dealing with the recent death of his father type of thing, even though his dad kind of sucked, that kind of stuff. And just excited to hear him meeting new people, encountering like El Royan, and then him finally becoming an Azarian, going on his travels. And you can't get like Treum's side of it, but you can hear her excitement of hearing his adventures and the people that he meets. And through this, you also get a more in-depth glimpse of his bond with her, but also in some senses his bond with Eleanor. He comes up frequently of sort of like how he came to visit Lanera one time and they just like hung out and he like made a dinner. He like made her this cool like metal piece type of thing. And they speak fondly of Eleanor as if he was kind of part of the family too. Near the end of the letters, they become slightly more vague, but make an intelligence check.
Just straight intelligence?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. 15?
15. Based off of Lanera and how well you knew both of them, some of the topics she talks about lead you to believe that she was pregnant. And just sort of talking about that a little bit and sort of plans of what they were going to do when the baby came and such.
Okay. Just in reading, I don't get any, like near specifically the end of the letters, I don't get, a lot of references to, specific places.
You don't hear them talk a lot about, specific places, and early on in the letters, they sort of sent back and forth to each other, hey, maybe we shouldn't say what we're doing specifically, just in case someone comes across them, type of thing. Although near the end of the letters, you hear a lot of read about a lot in them deciding of when they're going to stop traveling and being the Azarian. You get the sense that Tram was going to retire, if there was such a thing, and that they would live in their cabin. Doesn't say where, but you get the sense that it was the one you guys encountered in Beska.
Yeah, sure, okay.
Okay.
It's crying inside.
Yeah. So as your watch ends, you wake up, Kermit, and you're a little bit teary-eyed.
Yeah, just a single tear rolling down my face. I'm like, that was the best watch of my life.
You kind of see Kermit's a little, not really upset, but something's still bothering him. And he just sort of I don't know if this really helps Thranduil, but the reason why I didn't go with you guys to that dungeon with that Jal Tolth was that I was afraid that what happened during my duel would happen there, and I figured that me losing control would do more harm than help. But hindsight, maybe it would have been better.
I mean, hindsight 2020. It's a party, but don't blame yourself. we've all lost control at some point in various ways. We all have our histories and our weird relationship with magics and magical beings, and it's fine. Mistakes happen, and we'll just make sure to bring you along more often.
He kind of laughs a little bit and is just sort of like, well, we'll see if I get this under control. Unless you need me to bring down a building, I don't know if I'd be much help.
Well, more useful than illusions, that's for sure.
He shrugs. You never know.
Well, friend, not a whole lot happened. I'm exhausted. My eyes hurt, and I have a headache. I will see you in 6 hours.
And he just kind of smiles to himself and patiently and quietly keeps watch. And his spirit seems to have lifted a little bit with that nice little conversation. Yeah.
With his 10 perception, he sees everything.
Oh, what is his perception?
It better be 10.
Kermit has dumb stats, man. And by dumb, I mean they're stupid good. His perception is 4. Alright. So when Kermit wakes you up for your watch, says that nothing really happened during his. And for the sake of brevity, nothing really happens during yours. The only thing that you do notice is that Kermit's Phoenix, Tinadrid, has been watching this whole time too. He's been awake throughout the entire night. Been chilling.
He was the firelight I was using to read the letters.
Pretty much. You sort of were like waving him closer type of thing.
Yeah.
Try to see if maybe if you like attempt to pluck a feather, it might be a nice little candle. Nope. Wouldn't let you come near. So you guys wake up. Good to go. Kermit say has the map unless someone else wants to carry it.
I'm very content with the most powerful mage in the group carrying the map.
Okay. You guys leave the Latinier building. You sort of head kind of west-ish outside. Yes.
Real quick, during breakfast, I asked Kermit how long he thinks it'll take us to get there.
He has no idea. So judging by this
Do I
map...
have any reference of size for this island? Like, is it going to be like 3 days to traverse? Or is it like Australia?
We'll see if Kermit can make a gander, because you guys are walking in thick jungle. Kermit's quick gander is sort of like, this might take a few months to walk across.
Months.
Yeah.
No. I go back to Belgrin's room and I'm gonna flip to the Book of the Mountain. Or like flip through the location book and see if I can find the mountain. What is like super in-depth, super detailed?
It's super in-depth about like places on your list. Angor Tuck. Not really much else. You get the sense that this map of Enomar is all that they have. They never really explored this place.
Dang it.
And so...
We don't have months?
You don't know. You don't know how long you have. The headmaster said that it would take some time, but just get back when you can. He did say it would take weeks. So, as you sort of come out of Belgrin's room flustered and sort of join everyone else outside, you can see Kermit glancing off into the distance, a little further a ways where you see a figure next to the river.
It's Limway. No.
And he says, "Hello there!" The distant figure.
Hello? I'm gonna, like, grab Kermit and grab Limway and be like, I don't want to die. Basically just make sure, like, we're all close together, right? Like, it's not like we all just kind of, like, walked out of the building just like, psh.
Yeah. And the figure shouts.
Okay.
The figure shouts
Sorry.
again. Come on down.
I'll take the first step or two forward and just be like, "Oh, hello, good friend. What's your business this morning?"
My business is yours, friend. I'm here to help you guys get to the Temple of Dion'fae.
Good enough for me, guys. No. And may I ask what qualifications you have?
I am the Riverman. I help guide people over to the temple. And so,
Okay, Karen.
as you slowly inch a little bit closer to this figure, you can see he has this low brimmed hat, sort of good old weathered raincoat type of situation, tall rubber boots type of thing, or boots that are meant for walking in marshlands type of thing. He's pretty well geared out. And you also see, sort of tied to the bank, is a fairly large raft.
I don't have any drachma, but I mean, this would be freaking great. I turn to Kermit and you know anything about this?
No, the legends didn't really say anything about this, but I mean, you gotta think of how people were able to make it there in the first place, right?
I'm gonna get closer. I'm gonna get within 20 yards of this figure and the raft,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna throw up my orb of detection, which reveals any illusions within 20 yards and are revealed for 1 round.
Yep. No illusions.
Okay, that's the last precaution I wanted to take.
Okay. And so Alice is sort of oh, I can go ahead, you know. So she kind of steps forward and marches up to him type of thing. And just sort of seeing that he isn't trying to pick someone off, she sort of looks back to you all and shrugs okay, I guess this dude's safe.
Yeah. I love it how we're all just super cynical until something shows up and then we're like, oh yeah guys, this is totally fine.
Mm-hmm. Loom, when you approach as well?
Yeah.
So you guys approach the Riverman, as he has called himself. And so there are 2 sets of rafts, which will help for all of you. He says, I know this is a little sketch, but I'm from Danos. There's a village there. That's where the temple is. And so I ferry my rafts back and forth for travelers who want to make it there quicker and safer. So he gives you a set of instructions. So you're supposed to take the rafts on the river west until the 2nd junction. And then there will be a marker that's in place on the land that will signal where you guys get off of the river, and you will travel northwest to Danos. And he recommends that you guys go on land to camp at night, which will be safer as you will have cover rather than be on the river during those times. And he also gives you the last warning that the island is dangerous, so keep an eye out and stay close to one another.
Okay. Sorry, I was just writing down basic instructions. West at the 2nd junction, and then get off of the raft where?
Oh, you get off the raft at the 2nd junction.
Oh.
And so there will be a marker that he has in place to signal where you get off. So if you look at the map that I gave you, I have those places marked out. So the red line is where you guys travel.
That's what the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the red line is the river, and the green line is kind of where you guys will be traveling on land. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna just shut up and move on.
And so, due to your concern of how long is this gonna take, he says that it will typically take about 14 days to travel on raft. and then traveling on foot. It's kind of hard to tell depending on how quick of a route you guys take and whether you get lost or not. So it might take another couple of weeks, might take less.
Okay, well, as I get onto the raft, can I, like, regrowth myself a chair? I don't want to stand on this.
Sure. You take the time to concentrate and, like, put on multiple regrowths.
I'll basically, like, grow us, like, an airline cabin on these things.
Sweet.
So that we can all just, like, chill and relax and drink sweet tea.
Yeah.
How much magic would I use for that?
We'll say it'll take 10 to make a chair for yourself.
Oh,
Okay. So you guys start heading out on the raft. So I'm gonna say every 5-ish days I'll have you guys roll a random encounter type of thing. Just cause it'll make us go through this quicker. So, who wants to roll a d20?
Lemon, do you want to take the responsibility of killing us today?
1.
Okay.
Yep, we're dead.
Alright, so
Freaking dead. Yeah,
Your
it finds
first-
you.
your first few days of travel actually go pretty well. And so, like, you guys have the feeling of, like any beginning of a journey, a sense of excitement, of just that we're in a new place, we're finally doing something, we're going somewhere, this is pretty cool. And so, even though you're a little bit cautious of all this, you are excited. And so, those few days, as they get on a little bit, you start relaxing a little bit more, start kind of having some cool conversations, sharing a little bit about each other. So the basic grounds of friendship, one might say, are starting to form there.
So what do you do for a living?
And throughout this whole time, pretty much every evening, as you guys like pull the rafts back on shore and start finding a camp for the night, safe place to go, Taru gathers whatever plants that she can to add to her collection, but she's also like weaving a whole bunch of flower chains and crowns and stuff. So you get the sense that by the end of this, she might have enough flower crowns to just like make a whole outfit, like maybe a shirt type of thing. It's pretty intense. So
And during this time, I would just say I'm gonna continue to finish reading the letters.
yeah.
While we're on land, I'm not gonna pull them out in the raft.
Mm-hmm.
And here and there, I'll like pull out a fabricol and I'll just examine it and just be weird and pull a Caleb.
Okay. So the letters bring back more good memories. You particularly do like the ones between Wolmar and Tram, and you almost wish that you had Tram's side, because you can imagine the kinds of responses that garnered Wolmar's remarks sometimes. You can't help but laugh at that.
Well, good old Walmart.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the 5th day, we shall say, you guys wake up a little bit earlier than normal to the sound of thunderous footsteps. Make a natural lore check, Limwin.
Oh boy.
Sorry, I spent my magic for the first day.
14.
14.
Got it.
Okay. Though you have not seen one, you've heard tales from Kanad of how her parents died.
Oh. No!
And
Oh no!
And so the description of thunderous footsteps are quite apt, as you instantly wake up and it's almost like the stories come true and you would instantly call for everyone to hide. And so
Illusionary everything. It's jungle. It blends in.
alright, roll to see if you cast.
Son of a dingus. We're gonna get murked if we get seen by this thing.
Oh, Yeah, easily. And then I got 4 stunt points, so I'm going to do, I think it's Empower spell. Yeah, I'm going to use Powerful Casting. And increase my spell power on Illusionary Scene by 3.
Yeah, it's quite good that Linwin alerted you all, because mere seconds after you casted the illusory scene successfully, crushing a set of trees nearby, you see a massive foot, reptilian, and it causes you all to look up, and you see a Thunderlord. You see this massive lizard creature whose footsteps feel like there's thunder within the ground, and its roar is quite intimidating. And you all are deathly silent. I need you guys to make a stealth check with advantage.
Oh boy. Just want to roll an extra.
Advantage is just adding a d6, removing the lowest.
Yeah.
And that's just a dexterity.
Stealth.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, there is. Yeah. Okay, I don't have it. That's 20
Yeah.
for me.
You guys all passed. Sweet. So you guys wait a tense few seconds as this Thunderlord stomps around and pauses and looks around, and you see its massive jaw dive down, and coming up you see with the cats in the jungle. What be they? What?
Tiger, jaguars.
Yes, something like that. My brain just died there. But one of them comes up in the jaw, and with a sickening crunch and a little bit of a blood spray, thing is dead and gets swallowed up pretty easily. And so you guys can very easily imagine yourselves being that instead of the cat. And so...
As me and my 70 hit points are just like...
Yeah. And so it begins to stomp away. Thranduil, do you want to roll a d20?
I pull out some tea, and I just... 7!
7. Cool. So you guys are pretty shaken after that one encounter, and so the rest of the day is you guys pretty much on alert, keeping an eye out for that Thunderlord. And the excitement of new adventure kind of wears off very quickly after that encounter. And so, yeah, you guys take in the jungle a little bit more intensely. Some of you seeing more glowing eyes than normal, but you're not too sure if it was always there or if it's the imagination. So the next day is pretty tenuous. But over time, the calm begins to set in again. You guys begin to relax a little bit.
At this point, everyone has a chair.
Yeah, so a few more days pass. Everyone's relaxing on their chairs, chilling, sort of having a bit of a good time. Taru keeps on encouraging you, Limwin, to try to make ice. She keeps asking you to do that. See if you can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was just a general thing.
Okay, cool. So one night, as you guys decide, like, okay, let's try to set camp because it's getting a little bit late, you pull the raft onto shore, and you guys have a system now of, like, where to put it, mark it type of thing. Between all of the mages, you're able to find ways of protecting the raft and making sure that you will be able to relocate it. Unfortunately, this night, it's a little bit of an inopportune spot where you stopped. There's no, like, your typical cover of reasonable climbable trees or anything of a clearing or protective space. So you guys have to travel a little bit further inland.
Okay,
Yeah.
this might be a horrible thing.
Okay.
But once we get a little bit deeper, and if it's just still a little bit thin, could I, like, create... Could I pull a Groot, I guess, and, like, make,
Oh.
like, a dome?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Okay. So traveling a little bit further inland, you guys do actually see a cave.
Never mind.
I was just gonna say.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. You see a natural cave.
I'm gonna drape vines over the front of it then.
Okay, so you guys enter.
Magic.
Huh.
Alright, so you guys enter the cave, and inside you actually see that it's occupied. You see a small campfire already going, and you see a rabbit on a spit, which is interesting because for you, Limwin, who's been out in the wilds a bit, this area looks like a wolf den. But there's a campfire with a rabbit on a spit.
Whoa. Oh man.
Make a searching check, both of you, please.
Me and my +1. 14.
14. Okay. Doing a second pass around the room to start taking a look at it, what you missed the first time was that one of the kind of bundles in the corner that kind of looks shorn off hair, shedded hair, actually is a figure you see very quickly rushing towards you, and Limwin almost like tackling you to the ground.
Ugh.
What you thought was a creature is actually a man, dressed in a wolf pelt with a wolf head as a hood, and you see these strange like wooden claws over his hands, and he says, "What are you doing in my cave?"
Yo, sorry. We're just looking around.
And you see Alice go, "Hey! I met this guy!"
Wait. As I'm like getting ready to like rain fire, I'm like,
She goes, no, it's Wolfman. Dagram and Reason, I met him in that funhouse thing. He's cool. And he looks up at Atlas, and you can see a vague sense of recognition in his eyes, and he backs up and sort of like gets off of you, Limwin. And so you have Atlas say, "Hey, how's it going, man? What happened after that whole Biffin thing? Right? They're Biffins? You got taken off." And he says, "The Wolfman doesn't die that easily. The Biffins suffered, just as all these rabbits will suffer." And you see him point angrily at the rabbit on the spit. And she looks at you guys and she says, "He has a thing against rabbits, just leave it." She's like, just heads up, he hates rabbits.
not the only one. They destroy gardens daily.
And he looks to you and almost like a gleeful shine enters his eyes, realizing that someone shares his hatred of rabbits.
They do nothing but eat.
He says, "My clan is out hunting. I'm here to guard our den. We have to kill every rabbit we come
Does he have a
across."
clan or is he alone?
Hmm?
Sorry, insight check. Is he actually alone? I think he's alone.
Oh, yeah,
It's crazy.
make an empathy check, which is perception.
Here's my first real bad roll. It's not even that bad. It's still 11.
You're taken a little bit off guard by this interesting personality. You're more concerned of like, does he actually think he's a wolf? And then you just kind of get lost in that line of thought there. He kind of half crawls out of the cave a little bit, looks up at the sky, and does a little ooh at the moon, and then he kind of catches himself, looks back at you all, and he says, "I will let you stay the night, but you have to earn your keep. Go and slay a rabbit." Each of you.
Each of us. Done.
Each of you.
I bring back 2.
So, how do you guys want to catch rabbits and kill them?
I need to look at something. Limwin, how are you catching rabbits today?
I'm gonna lay in the middle of the forest and wait for one to sit on me.
Okay. That's what you're doing. Yep. So you just pick a spot in the ground, lay down on your back?
Yep.
Okay. And so you do that, and you see Kermit come up to you, and he goes, "What are you doing?"
I'm catching bro. Cramping my style, man. Catching rabbits.
It's just like, I'm not too sure, Phil.
I'm chill, man.
Do you want me to put
I'm
leaves on?
so chill right now.
Do you want leaves on you or something? Twigs?
Kermit. Yeah, I'm chill.
Okay. And Kermit just like slowly backs off, a little concerned. Looks back to Alice, and Alice is like, "Come on, Kermit, let's go hunt some rabbits." Thranduil, what are you doing?
Well, I have a whole thing because this NPC is my favorite thing that has ever happened to me, and I need to impress him. So, based off of my insane amount of natural circumstances, what's a rabbit's favorite flower?
Favorite
Or
flower?
favorite, like, root to eat, or whatever they eat. I don't know.
Well, these are fantasy rabbits in my world. So, they like
Steak.
They like limb root. It is a
Sweet.
Yeah. Lots of farmers purposely bury or grow limb root along the outskirts of their crops. It's a very bitter plant that you typically wouldn't eat. They're mostly used in like mundane medicines, so they're not really that useful. But the rabbits they're somehow attracted to them. So another thing farmers do is like lace them with some poison and then just plant it in the ground, and the limb roots maintain the poison, and that's how the rabbits die.
I will walk into the forest,
Yeah.
cast invisibility on myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then I'm going to just walk over to a pile of limroot and just regrow the heck out of it. I want it to be like a 5x5 radius around me of just this. And I'm going to stand in the middle.
Right. Linwood, can you make a stealth check for me? Make a... Nah. With your perception, you probably won't notice.
18.
18. Yeah, so Thranduil, not really knowing that Limwin decided to pick a random patch of the ground and lay on it and hope that a rabbit would come up, you cast regrowth on Limroot, and Limwin, a whole bunch of Limroot suddenly grows over you.
I see like a human form start to appear.
So you are overwhelmed with Limroot. But it does do the trick, as a whole bunch of rabbits, which were going to bed for the night, are very overwhelmed with the scent of Limroot. And so they all pile on, like a whole bunch of them, like 10, come out of nowhere, pile onto all this Limroot. So, Limwin, you have a whole bunch of rabbits on you, but you're also encased in Limroot.
Okay, with my superior strength, I am going to grab one.
Okay. Make a strength check.
I'm like sneaking up to it with a dagger, just like...
15.
Okay, that's good. You actually rolled higher than the rabbit. So, you see, like, your Limroot grown super well, Thranduil, and you're sneaking up with the knife, singing some sort of weird, creepy song in your head. I don't know. of death. And then you go to strike down a rabbit, and all of a sudden, this hand, like undead, breaking out of the ground, just snatches onto a rabbit. And you hear it squeak in terror. And you see all the rabbits look at the hand and begin to turn away. When I need you to make a dexterity check, Thranduil. You can make one too, Limwin, but you'll have a penalty to it.
As Kermit just fireballs all of us.
13.
13?
What is it? Is it dex anything?
Dexterity acrobatics.
15.
Okay.
Only 12.
Ooh. Okay, so as this weird scene of you sneaking up invisible with a dagger, and then this hand coming out of your plants, like latching onto what, the neck of a rabbit? Of a bunny?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you snatch onto the neck of a bunny, and all the rabbits are about to hop off in terror, when all of a sudden there's an explosion of ice that spreads across the whole area. And Limwin, you're able to somehow protect yourself from this, the roots, and you just squeeze the bunny to you, so the bunny takes a hit instead of you. You unfortunately do not avoid this Thranduil. And
I just scream.
yeah, you take 8 points of cold damage, and your speed is reduced by half. As you see from the distance, Atlas chucks a card, and you see an explosion of frozen rabbits. Just in terror, some mid-hop as the ice almost catches up to them and then wraps around it, and it's just frozen. Some of them are more exploded than frozen, so you see, like, scraps of rabbits stuck to the ground in ice. It's quite awful.
I just say, those are mine! And I stomp off to go to find another part of the forest.
And you see Kermit standing next to Alistair. I'm like, I
drop my invisibility and I'm just like...
As your hair is like crusted back with ice and like frost all over you. So,
yeah, and I'm like sitting there with like the hilt of my dagger, like chipping it away as I'm like walking away.
Limwin, you sit up and sort of half, like the front of you has limb roots stuck to you, and now this dead frozen rabbit stuck to your chest plate as well. Okay. And so you see Atlas and Kermit walk up, and Kermit's like, how are we gonna get this out of here? And Atlas is like, it's easy. She just like boots a rabbit. Yeah, she boots a rabbit, and it like cleaves off the ice and skids across the ground a little bit. She picks it up, she goes, got mine. It's like frozen, like in terror, like mouth open, almost like it's screaming.
No. Bunnies were screaming.
Bunnies were screaming. And Kermit just takes out a knife and begins slowly chipping away at another rabbit. Just like,
So I'm just like, I'm gonna like walk for like 10 minutes parallel to the camp. So I'm not like just like off and yonder. Same strategy. Invisible, bunch of limb root.
Okay.
Stab, 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 stab.
Okay.
I want to kill 4.
Cool. Easy enough, I'll say. Like, there are rabbits, and it'll take a bit for you to stab one, and then you're trying to be quiet, so yeah, it is easy enough.
But I'm gonna do it, like, as the rabbit's eating, I'm gonna, like, come up underneath it and just kind of, like, slowly stab it in the neck.
Slowly?
So that it's very, like, well, not like, but, like, under their throat so that it's, like, less visible.
Okay. I mean, they're rabbits. They don't notice that their brethren are falling one by one.
Yeah, just...
Yeah. So as you get to, like, maybe about the third one, just sort of, like, a quick, like, slice of the throat, and then just, like, holding it up, and then slowly letting it fall down type of thing, so you don't disturb the other rabbits. You hear almost a little bit of a squeak of terror as your invisible self looks to the side, and you see Taru just gasping in horror as rabbits are falling dead to the ground. And she's like, no, get away! And she scares off all the rabbits. And she sees them like, oh no!
are they like kind of all in the same-ish spot? Like, or are they like all around?
They're in close-ish spots. Like the limb route is, was it 5x5 area? So yeah.
As she like starts to approach, I'll stand behind them, animate dead.
Oh, how many can you do that? 2, 3, 4. Okay. So these 3 rabbits are now undead, and so they like lazily lift their head and like are just staring as their blood has not quite yet dried, so their necks are still kind of dripping, and Taru's just standing there in horror, not really knowing what's happening.
I drop my invisibility. I'm just like, it's fine. I got mine. And I start walking away with these rabbits following me.
You don't see what she does. She's probably mostly shocked out of anything else.
She just cries.
Yeah. So Atlas and Kermit come back with their frozen rabbits. Half-thawed Limon, you stroll into the cave with a rabbit stuck to your chest plate. And Wolfman is very proud of you all. As he does get a little bit confused as these rabbits follow you in Thranduil, and his eyes get like a crazy rage in them as he like goes to dive for them with his claws. And then before he lands on them, they all fall dead, and he's just like, what?
Well, rabbits have been delivered. I need a nap.
Alright. And so, you guys did bring back enough rabbits for each of you. And Kermit decides, I'm gonna distract Taru while they deal with these rabbits. As you see Alice slowly trying to, like, yank this rabbit off of Limwin's chest. She's like, do you want me to throw a fire card at you?
Oh yeah, sure, if it'll help.
All right.
Can I try to rip it off first?
Sure. Make a strength might check.
18.
Okay. You just with one hand grab the rabbit by the center, pull it, and you're like, heck yeah, and you realize a foot is still stuck on you. And you're like, good enough. And Alice is like, do you still want a fire card to like burn away all that stuff?
No, I'm good. It'll flake off.
Okay. So, yeah, Wolfman takes the rabbits. And he's very pleased. Deals with the rabbits. He just sort of cooks them all up and stuff, and he like strips them down and stuff, hangs them to dry. Preserved meats, they're great. Killing rabbits, holy. And so, eventually Taru comes in a little bit later with Kermit. She's okay. It was sort of
she was not okay.
Kermit having to explain what happened there in such a way that doesn't make her devastated and give her nightmares. Yeah, you guys go to rest. So, and the next day, Wolfman bids you all farewell and welcomes you back to the cave anytime for rabbit hunting.
Sweet.
And also encourages you to kill rabbits at every given moment.
As we're like floating away, he's like, "Don't forget, rabbits are the devil." As like a more you know thing like shows up.
All right, Kara, roll a d20.
14.
Okay. So, you guys go to rest a few nights later. This is sort of halfway through your journey, we'll say. And so coming up ahead is on the map called Flat Top Mountain. Sort of talking a little bit with Wolfman the previous night and sort of like, hey, let's try to get some more information from this dude, as Kermit's mind is very inquisitive and he thinks of that kind of stuff, I guess. He's a smart kid. Wolfman tells you that Enomar doesn't really have territories, but there's 2 tribes that war against each other for the land. There's the Fomori, which is sort of like tiny lizard people. They're not kobolds. I think they're tiny like turtle people, if that makes sense.
Or like turtles.
You encountered them one time briefly in Doral, Thranduil. And the other warring party are minotaurs. And so once in a while, their solution of fighting one another because they don't want to outright have a massacre across the island, they decide to capture the largest creature, the most dangerous creature that they can, and have them duel each other at Flat Top. The issue with that is that a Thunderlord lives at Flat Top. So if the battle gets too noisy, then the Thunderlord comes down for an early meal. So as you guys near Flat Top or are starting to go a little bit past it, maybe in the next day, you guys decide to call for like an early rest of like maybe we should try to avoid it as much as we can. So you guys go to rest a little bit earlier that night. I need both of you guys to just roll a d6 for me, please.
2.
6.
Okay, cool. So the next morning.
Thranduil, you get shot with 7 arrows.
So Thranduil, the next morning you wake up along with everyone else, start packing up, go for the rafts. Okay, everyone's on. Where's Limwin? Limwin is missing.
Oh, like I'll just do like a quick like up and down the stream. Like maybe she took like a walk. Maybe she's meditating.
Yeah. Kermit decides to take along with you a little bit. Make a perception hearing check. We'll see. We'll say.
Freaking useless.
It's okay. Kermit's got you.
Wow! Triple. Juice. 7.
7. You guys can hear sort of faint chanting in the distance towards Flat Top.
Oh boy.
And Kermit looks up to you, Thranduil, and he says, "You don't think that she's over there, okay?" And he sighs to your nodding.
Yeah, I just like realized like we're just like
Okay.
frickin' minotaurs.
And so, as you guys go back, tell the rest of the party, we'll cut to you, Limwin. You open your eyes to see that you are tied up, and before you can really react, you're sort of rolled off the edge of something by a whole bunch of these tiny little lizard people, and you fall down an incline into sort of like this very, very steep bowl. You do take damage, but it doesn't go through your armor, so you're fine. Your armor absorbed it. And so, along the edge of this massive bowl, Limwin, still tied up, by the way, you see 2 sets of audience. You see these whole bunch of tiny little lizard people with little spears going, yeah, 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 yeah. And then you see all the minotaurs, like, with these big axes going, ha, 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 ha. And so the minotaurs, a few of them are like slowly lugging something in and beginning to push something over the edge. And barely conscious, looks like it's just starting to wake up, you see this animal creature that is rolled down this bowl where you are now. And so you see a reptilian creature, although its head is that of an elephant. Make a natural lore check for me, Limwin.
15.
15. You recognize this as a Groot slaying, which is a very intelligent creature, and it's kind of a medium to a large sized creature, and it prefers to grab its prey and crush it or bite it or throw it. So that's what it usually does. And so it just begins to wake up, spots you, and becomes extremely agitated with all these cheering and stuff. And you see the Minotaur, one of them takes out sort of like a little thin tube and then blows through it, and this dart hits the Groot Slain. And you see it like react to it a bit, and then it starts getting riled up and angry and shakes its head and then looks at you.
Okay, can I break out of whatever weakling ropes are holding me?
Yeah, make a strength might check.
14.
Easy enough, you break out of it. You also see the Fomori chuck your sword down too, and it lands next to you.
Okay, are there any exits?
There does appear to be like rope ladders, but they're like halfway up, being pulled up now.
It's okay, we're coming in approximately 3 hours.
This is a big oof. There's no... What, I'm in a pit with this thing?
Yep.
Okay, well, I guess I have to fight it.
Okay. Initiative.
13.
It goes first. So it starts zooming up towards you, and it is going to slice into you. Or it's going to gore you, I should say. 16 to hit.
Yeah, that probably hits.
And you take 15 points of damage. And so as it sort of goes to gore you, it catches you in the side as you try to dive out of the way.
I need to...
So now it is your turn. What do you desire to do?
I don't have 2 attacks, do I? I just have 1.
Just one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just smack it.
Okay.
Nope. Doesn't hit.
Okay.
Next one, go.
It's gonna try to gore you again. 16 to hit.
Yep.
And you take 16 points of damage. As it is starting to back you into a little bit of a corner. One of the edges of this, and just is trying to ram into you multiple times.
Yep.
Your turn.
I will smack it again. Or
Okay.
try to, at least. 20
Yeah, that
hit.
hits.
And I'm gonna do... Equal blow.
Okay.
Another d6.
Dang.
And it gets moved 2 yards away from me.
Okay. So, after getting gored multiple times in a row now, and you trying to swing and with a miss, this time you grab your sword and you're just so angry that you just stab right into it, and you see it dealt a pretty big blow to it, and you see frost begin to emanate from its wound as you pull it out as icicles of blood fly off. Is a cool effect that I described poorly. Okay. So we're going to cut to youth, Randall. Everyone is now currently trying to run towards Flat Top, as it is actually more direct than going via raft. And so as you guys are running, you can see that Kermit is actually quite concerned, hearing about what Wolfman had said, and just seeing this island, and also knowing the Thunderlord is there. You can see some streams of light begin to trail off Kermit a little bit.
Hey, friend, take a deep breath. I'm stopping the whole ass party in the middle of the forest. Take a deep breath. I'm going to get her.
It's more so like everyone's just running, and you just see this happening a little bit.
Oh.
Like you guys are running, and you see these streams of light coming off a little bit here, like wisps of smoke. So it is the Groot Slain's turn. 12 to hit.
Nope.
Okay. Okay, so it is your turn.
I smack him again.
By the way, I should
18.
text Lexi and just warn her that her character now hates rabbits and has severe PTSD around them.
What do you get?
18.
Yeah, that hits.
I'm gonna do mighty blow again. Or lethal blow.
Okay.
28.
28?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Again, you dodge the Groot Slaying trying to gore you, and you sort of step around it and you just slice down, cutting its tail off. And because of the nature of your sword, the stub end of the tail is instantly frozen, and it looks pretty gruesome. Groot Slaying again. And with each trumpet of pain, you see the crowd kind of get quiet a bit and look up at Flat Top and slowly begin their quiet chant. 21 to hit.
Yep.
And 13 points of damage. And so now, cutting back to you, Thranduil, you guys can also, in the distance, hear these trumpets of pain. And you can see that everyone's sort of sharing a look of concern of like, if we can hear that from here. And so you can see the wisps of smoke kind of get more intense with Kermit, and all of a sudden there is a blast of energy. And all of a sudden, all of you guys find yourselves running a lot faster than normal.
I just turn back to him and give him a thumbs up.
He's not even paying attention, he's just so focused. You guys are zip zooming.
Me and my elven speed are just.
Yeah. So you're actually like zooming ahead of everyone still here.
Nope.
Okay. And you go to slice again, but unfortunately you'll miss. Thranduil, make a dexterity acrobatics check for me, why don't you?
Ooh! Okay. 12. A freaking again, so 16.
Oh dang. I thought it was just 12 total. I'm like, well. Okay, so you're so unused to this speed, because it's never happened before, that all of a sudden you find yourself at the edge of this pit and are able to catch yourself enough that you slide down super cool elf style right next to Limwin. So, take your turn, why don't you?
I'll just say, hey girl, hey! 2 arcane blasts, because I don't really know what's going on. Because he looks hurt, right? Like, I don't...
Oh yeah.
So, like, I wouldn't assume that, like, I need to, like, on this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just 2 arcane blasts.
He's looking bloodied.
It's... accuracy?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I got 6 stun points,
Ooh.
and I rolled 18.
Well. Dang. Okay.
So
That's a critical
22
hit.
to hit.
That's a critical hit, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know if you do crits or
Yeah, I do. Okay, so you get maximum damage, and you roll the dice. So,
Oh, sweet.
So
So I get
accuracy-
6
6
plus
dice.
d6.
Yeah, 6 plus a d6. Plus your... Is it your willpower? Yeah, it's plus your willpower for damage. So you have 6
Okay,
right
so
now.
10 plus 4, so 14.
Okay. You also have 6 stunt points. So that's for combat stunts.
Yeah, just lethal blow.
Sweet.
So 14 plus another 6, so 20.
Yeah, he is...
He has the Diad.
No, he's not dead. He's bloodied. So, yeah. Roll for your second arcane blast. So remember, stun points do not bonus actions don't generate stun points. There we go.
That's good, I only rolled a 1 on my stunt die. But that is still a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Woo! And points damage!
10?
I'm like, the amount of 6s I've rolled. I am sorry, Kara, but thank you for all of your luck.
Yeah, man.
She's like, I might not be able to hit someone with my sword, but I will blow it up for you.
Alright, and it lets out another trumpet of pain. And so, it is the Gritslaying's turn. All of a sudden, it sees that, there's 2 people here now. So, still going for Limwin, though.
Oh.
Because she'd be slicing and dicing into this thing like it's chop suey. 17 to hit.
Yeah.
20 points of damage coming to you. And so you just see it gore your leg this time, Limwin. So Thranduil, you can kind of see that this thing's messed up, but it's also been messing up Limwin a little bit here too.
I can't heal anybody.
I know.
Ah! I can give myself just unlimited health. I can't do anything to help others.
Limwin? It's your turn.
Oh.
Six stun points.
18.
Yeah, that hits.
I'll do lethal blow and mighty blow.
Okay.
So I need another d6. I'm rerolling that.
Okay.
$30.
Holy crap.
And he moves back 2 yards.
Okay, cool. So this one, you just sort of slice into its shoulder, and just seeing the one of the tusks in the way, you smack it so hard with your free hand that it actually breaks off. And so it just reels back in pain, lets off a terrible, terrible trumpet, louder than all the other ones before. At the end of your turn, Limwin, you guys hear some rumbling of the earth, and some rocks, like some pillars, begin to fall off flat top.
Mm-hmm.
Thranduil, it's your turn.
Okay. I have one of 2 things I need to do, but I can... And when I freaking love you, I'm casting invisibility on you. Ooh! 4 stun points.
Ooh.
So I'm going to split spell and get myself.
Sweet.
And then, could I use the 2 in the stunt pool to add +2 to my spell power for that?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I want to get out of here. I don't
Fair.
I don't want to die.
Bonus action.
I'll just look at her. Well, look where she used to be, and say, "Well, I think it's time for us to leave." And I'm gonna start walking back out the tunnel that I slid in through.
No, you slid in from the top to the bottom. You don't see a way out.
Yeah, otherwise I would be.
Never mind. Well, us being invisible is still helpful. All the other people are gonna get eaten first.
Okay.
In that case, I'm gonna use my bonus action to Arcane Blast and then do invisibility.
Okay.
7? No. I can't math. 16.
Yeah,
There we
if
go.
it's above a 12, you hit it.
Oh! Okay. That's 8 points of damage.
Ooh. Okay.
And then I'll just snap, and both of us are gone.
Yeah, so the Gritslaying is very confused that you guys are gone. However, before its turn starts, the rest of the party arrives, enhanced with speed. So you see Kermit come up out of nowhere, a little bit shocked himself, leaps off the edge, and then pulls out his gun and tries to shoot this Gritslaying.
If I see him, can I, yell out, "We're still here!"
Okay.
As I'll use my reaction for that if that works.
Yeah, sure.
Just so he doesn't try to kill us.
Oh yeah, that hits. That's 3 stun points. He's gonna do lightning attack with that. bonus action to hit. That definitely hits. And the lightning attack. Okay, so you guys see Kermit leap off this kind of, not really a chasm, but deep bowl. And you can see that he's gonna probably take some damage when he lands, but he doesn't care because his friends are in danger. Pulls out his gun, shoots, nails the brute slaying once in the shoulder, shoots it again twice in the knee, and as he lands on top of the Groot sling, grabs the horn of it, not the horn, the tusk, to balance himself, points the gun down on his head, lets out a final shot, and the Groot sling falls to the ground dead as Kermit kind of rolls off of it
Kermit gets
on his
the final
back.
shot. What a guy.
He dealt a lot of damage, okay?
Oh, of freaking course it was Kermit. He gets more how do you want to do this than literally all of us put together.
He dealt 33 points of damage, and he had 13 points of damage, so sorry. Limwin did
we
most
tried,
of the work.
Limwin.
You guys see Atlas was able to stop herself at the edge, kind of take in a moment to see where everyone's at, kind of runs off along the side here, or along the edge. You see a few Fomori kind of get in her way. She just like backhands one of them and they fall down the pit. And she kicks the ladder down for you guys, so you now have a way out. Taru wasn't quite able to catch herself at the edge, so kind of comes tumbling down next to you all. And she pops up and just sort of sees Kermit and runs over to help him up a little bit. And so as you guys are all getting a little bit organized, you do see the Thunderlord. This one is bigger than the one that you saw previously. You get the sense that maybe the other one was maybe like the baby. So
Well,
this one is almost as tall as a small mountain, which would explain why it lives on top of a mountain that has a flat top. And so you guys quickly scramble out as all the crowd of the Fomori and the Minotaurs scatter. Some actually do fall into the pit a little bit in the chaos. So now you have some Fomori and some Minotaurs trying to push their way up before you. Make a strength check, Limwin, as you probably try to shove them all back.
Is it strength anything?
Might. Sure.
19.
19. Oh, yeah. You start, like, King of the Hill style, like Sparta kicking them in the face, elbowing them, and just, like, kind of waving off as many people as you can as your party slowly begins to climb up. Atlas kind of finishes it off by throwing down a couple of cards, creating a nice area around you guys that protect and keep them at bay. So you guys are able to get up as the Thunderlord now comes racing down into the pit, almost like this is normal for it. And thankfully, because you guys killed the Groot Sling, it's gonna dive down on that thing first and eat it. And so through the chaos, you guys are able to get away.
and yeah, like as we're running, I can move my illusionary scene. Fun fact. So I will cast it and I will move it with the party as like a bubble of like, I'm not here.
Yeah, and you kind of see once you guys get a little bit safe, you can see there's still a little bit of the light streaming off of Kermit, and Atlas kind of goes to him and is like, hey, bud, remember what we talked about? Like, it's okay, man. And so he sort of takes a second and just sort of like, just like, okay, everything's fine, this is cool. And so over time it begins to fade out. So.
Yeah. Well, guys, should we head back to our little thrones and ride the river some more? Only got 3 weeks left, guys.
For your last day of last little bit of traveling on the raft is pretty uneventful, surprisingly. Lots of calm days, pretty chill after that intense encounter. And so eventually you guys find a pretty obvious mark in the woods. It's a whole bunch of like wooden signposts with bright colors and arrows pointing to the shore. Extremely hard to miss. So You guys guide the rafts there, and you do encounter Riverman again. And Riverman's like, "Oh, you guys made it, man! Heard a bit of a tussle a few days back. Hope you guys didn't get involved in that. If you did, that's okay." And he says, "I'll take my rafts back. Gotta drag them back up to the order there, but I'll trade you for some horses. Cut your day or your journey a little bit shorter. Just keep heading northeast.
Absolutely.
There's northwest. There's a path. Just stay on the path. You should be fine. You know the drill."
Okie dokie.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you, friend.
And he just waves his hat in acknowledgement as he hops on the raft, and you can see him cast some magic, and the waters go the opposite way, and he travels the river back towards the temple. Not the temple.
Okay, that's just cool.
Order. So, yeah. The Riverman. Okay.
The Riverman came.
Jordan. Roll D20. Or I should say 300.
16!
16. So, as you guys are traveling along the horses, you guys actually encounter a herd of deer that have like baskets over their back, kind of strapped over.
Well, the Riverman said he came from the town by the mountain which the temple is located.
Yes.
Right? Do we know that there is, like, civilized life moving forward?
Yeah, but it's just weird. There's like a whole pack of deer with like baskets over.
Yeah, weird.
But they do seem to be heading in the direction that you guys are.
Yeah. I'll take them.
Alright, so following along behind them, they do get wary of you at first, noticing you very quickly, but just seeing you guys slowly, like, trailing after, not really being threatening, they eventually pick up their pace a little bit, less concerned about who's following them. And through following them, you actually find some hidden trails that get around a lot easier, so you save a day of travel there.
Oh, heck yeah!
Alright. Kara, do you want to roll the last d20, please?
6.
A couple of days before you reach the, was it Danos, I think? You guys come across a grove of Avaluth flowers, which gets your attention immediately, Thranduil, because for you as an Elinthi, you're sort of taught that Avaluth flowers are grown in like kind of significant sites type of deal.
Those aren't the ones that were growing in that, like, dungeon. Those aren't the ones that are like, the sadness of the elves are growing.
No, make a natural lore check.
Okie dokie. 14.
14. You would know that these flowers were actually created by Azine when he was like a little kid type of thing. Siri and Fairtala was teaching him how to use wood arcana, and he decided to grow a flower for his mom. And so he named them Avaluth after happiness. It's sort of become a bit of a symbol of like the Azarian's flower type of thing. So that's why they're significant. And so you come across a grove of these. In the center of it is a gravestone.
If it reached Treyam, I swear.
Do you approach?
I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lumen, do you approach as well?
Yep.
Okay. So everyone just kind of slowly approaches here a little bit. And as you enter, you kind of see the flowers almost part way a little bit, almost wrapping around your feet so that you don't step on them. So you don't have to be careful about crushing them. And so as you sort of enter this grove, you feel a wave of calm and rest. Not like necessarily like sleepy or drowsy, but it's almost like a burden's been lifted temporarily type of thing. And it's just a nice moment. And so You see a normal kind of looking gravestone, kind of like oval at the top type of situation. But you see at the top is a celestial symbol. And you also see that this gravestone isn't made out of stone. It's almost, if you could put something to it, Thranduil, it's like the stone heart in the capital city of Arden. It's made out of a very similar material. And it has silver blue, it's silver blue, and then it has a streak of purple running through it, almost like a crack, but intentional. And you can just feel that this place itself is enriched with magic. And as you guys inch a little bit closer, you see that purple streak in the gravestone begin to light up a little bit.
Like, not like gonna kill us trapped, but like...
It is just glowing ever so slightly, almost like it's reacting to the presence of someone there. If you want, you can make a perception check for traps. Use what you want.
Sure. Oh! 16.
16. Not trapped, just magic, man.
Okay. I'm just super paranoid now.
Okay. Who approaches the gravestone?
I definitely do. I'm okay with that, approaching it.
Okay. And so, Kermit will approach with you. And so you can see that it doesn't really glow brighter as you begin to approach, but then as Kermit begins to approach, it starts growing significantly brighter. The purple streak. And so as you guys reach it, like I said at the top, there's like a celestial symbol. Make a religious lore check.
Oh my gosh. Well, 6 stun points.
Okay.
21.
Oh, celestial symbol of Azar. No problem.
Nice.
Pretty easy. However, the rest of the stone, which has engravings on it, is a language that you don't understand. But Kermit does. And so he slowly begins to read it, and he, like, just for a moment places his hand on it just to kind of get a closer look, and the purple streak is, like, almost at its brightest, reacting to his touch. And so it says, "Though we have no place to lay your body, may this mark your rest. Love, be safe and well. As you travel far, have courage every step. Learn from every mistake. You'll find where to stand, growing more than you planned. Find your light in the darkest place. Live free. Protect the weak and ill. Save those lost and forgotten. Unite the divided. Guard against evil. May Dion'fae help you find your way."
It's Trium's tomb.
Based off of that roll and this material, this kind of material was very common briefly, like around Azar's time or right after Azar's time, when his magic was scattered across the world. And so some people with highly magical capabilities were able to draw in that magic and turn it into this gemstone-like object. So that's sort of where people believe that the stone heart came from. It came from that time. Someone just collected a whole bunch of it and then made it into this crystal. No one knows what it does exactly, or it's not a power stone. Power stones are more mundane, if that makes sense. These are almost like living gems. So you don't think it's from Trium's time. More like 700 years before Trium.
Yeah, so this is more or less like a shrine to Azar himself.
Yeah, and also with that check and the legends of the temple, his son Azim did come to find the Temple of Dion'fae. Maybe he
Who's
did.
that again? Is that the first?
It's the first Azar. It's Azar's son.
Okay, yeah. There's nothing else of import in this clearing.
Not that you can tell. You can make a perception check if you want.
Sure. 12.
12? Yeah. That grave is real glowy, man.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Why did Kermit have to roll so high? Okay. I just had Kermit roll a perception check just for the heck of it. You can see as Kermit reads this out afterwards, and he sort of looks at the gravestone more. He almost, gets caught up in that purple streak, and he goes, Thran, does it look like there's something in there? And he points it out, and yeah, it almost looks like there's a sword embedded in this gravestone.
Okay, guys, it's time to defile some more stuff. I don't think I have anything that really helps with, dispelling magic. But we have Kermit, so...
Kermit can't use magic, man. He's chosen not to.
We're getting that sword.
Then is there anything you want to do?
There's a sword stuck in it?
There's a sword encased in the gem. So it's almost... Because of your stupid high intelligence check of religious lore and all this stuff, Thranduil, you also know that this kind of encasement is very similar to that of Triumph's encasement at Idine's library.
Oh, we weren't able to get rid of that, were we?
Nope. You also did have shackles on that prevented you from using magic, but even then, if it's encased to that level...
If Kermit steps back, can I still see the sword in the stone? When the purple dims?
Nope.
Yeah. Well, Kermit, I know you've chosen not to use magic, but if you want the sword, you're literally the only one who has anything that could do anything.
Kermit, with his insanely high perception check, is gonna make a lore check. For Pete's sake, I keep rolling high too. Cool. So, Kermit looks within this streak and yes, recognizes a sword, but he also takes a more closer look to see if he can recognize whose sword. And it looks unlike any sword Kermit has ever seen in his life. Not anything like the Azarian weapons. It's more than that. It is not of mortal make, one might say.
I know, that's why I want it. Limway, I'm sorry, we got some fighters, we can use swords now, this is fun.
Kermit does seem a little hesitant to try to break open this gravestone.
Kind of how, I was envisioning it was we were, looking through the purple, which was, a crack. But, the rest of the stone was different.
Yeah.
Or separate, in a way. I kind of was viewing it as, almost, still, closed off, but somewhere else. So, I don't want to have to, destroy the thing, but, get rid of the purple streak.
It looks like the purple streak is part of the stone, but it was changed to make it almost visible. It's a purposeful crack, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Kermit still has the connection to the sword, and I think that it would answer questions for him. So, yeah. I'll pull out Triumph's training sword that I took, and, quick change.
Quick change. Your hand smashes against the stone. It hurts, man.
If I try to take Triumph's sword, and I try, I don't want to break the tombstone, though.
Taro's sort of why don't we just leave the stone, you guys? Someone died.
Well, everyone dies. That's the only tricks I have.
Yeah, Kermit's sort of looking at this and he's...
If I try to take, the point of the sword, of Triumph's sword, and like run it along the purple, it's like smooth finish the whole way.
Yep. There's just nothing happens. But Kermit does say, I don't think this is meant for me, Thran. This looks like it belongs to Azar.
It reacts to you.
I don't know. I mean, does it react to others here?
Everyone step back! Atlas, you go first.
Alright. Atlas comes...
She's the only one with power.
Atlas does come forward, and it glows just as brightly as Kermit's. If not, maybe a little bit more.
A freaking course it does.
And
yeah,
Atlas is like, what? It's a glowing stone. There's a sword inside.
Hey, Limwe, do you wanna... There's a sword in there. You wanna go see if you can see it?
Yeah, sure. I'll go up to it.
You step forward. It also does glow. It glows more than you, Thranduil, but less than Kermit.
Why does the stone hate me? Okie dokie. Well, that's gonna bother me. You need to, like, send me, like, what it is and what it does when we're done this campaign. That'll be our Talks Machina session. What's the sword?
What's inside the box?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to do?
I'd love to get the sword. Just kidding.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it?
You know me and my magical weapons?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Nothing like a super powerful sword being locked behind something encased by a lord or lady.
Yeah, then
Good
you know
times.
it's important, and you want it. I don't care if it's cursed.
It's shiny.
I'll die over a week after I touch it just to be able to use it.
Oh man. Alright. So you guys mark it for something to return to at a later date, who knows? And continue onwards. So you guys have either have a day or a couple days before reaching Danos, Mount Danos. That feeling of excitement slowly returns of not knowing what's at the end. And you all come maybe like mid-afternoon-ish to the end of this pathway. And just beyond, well, a little bit beyond it, you see a tight cluster of trees. The trees have gone a little bit more closer, more twisted than normal coming up here. And then all of a sudden, it's almost like you can only walk on this pathway. There's no way you can go beyond it because the trees are so close together. And it's really hard to distinguish tree from tree because the branches are twisting amongst one another. And it looks a little weird, but for you as in Lindsay, you're like, this is so great.
I know, I'm like, oh, I need this.
Just getting some cool design ideas of like, man, I could market that for clothing if I can just replicate it on. I'm gonna make a cool jacket.
New fashion.
Yeah.
Dion'fae.
Yeah. And so you come to a point where one of these twisted trees almost looks like it's fallen, but also twisted into a large archway around this whole row of trees. And it only shows the sign of entrance to beyond, because past it you can see the mountain of Danos. But you all hear the sound of beating wings. Crashing through the trees and landing before the entrance is a large green dragon. Its scales reflecting light like gemstones and casting hues of green all around. Looking back at Kermit's trial against the dragon, you recall that though it matched the ferocity of a dragon, the mist failed to catch their majesty. Topaz crystalline eyes with flakes of silver and emerald stare deeply through all of you. Though it does not attack, you can see the crevices in his hide grow softly, and the loose pebbles around him hover a few inches, the ground ever softly shaking. like a growl. What do you guys want to do?
I swallow hard. I guess I'm the talker. I should do that. He didn't say anything, he just landed.
Yeah.
I will give my, like, courteous, like, saying hello to other royals. Bow. And I'll just say, greetings, friend.
He stares, waiting for you to continue.
Like, I'm assuming I gather that, like, he's just, like, the guard of this city. Or is he...
You don't know.
Answer me! My name is Thranduil Canoan, Signis of Alfelenair. Cursebreaker, Peacebringer, first of his name, King of Farinwood. And these are my companions. Nothing?
It does appear to be listening, but it's not really reacting. It's just still looking at you. Its direction is on you, Thranduil. It isn't like aimlessly looking at all of you. It does seem to be listening to what you're saying. And Kermit is looking at you.
I just look back to everyone. I'm like, it's like the tombstone. It hates me. Somebody else talk.
Limon, do you want to say anything or not?
Hey, can we get past you?
And Kermit also pipes up. He goes, "We're here for the Temple of Dion'fae." And the dragon sort of looks at both of you and then looks to the side of the woods as you see a deer walk out in between all of you. And then the deer faces towards you guys and begins changing form and becomes humanoid, incredibly tall, 7 feet, with large eyes, long pointed ears that go past the head, and bronze hair that goes just past the lower back. He has skin that captures the light, creating a slight green tint where the light passes through the trees and meets the skin. And he nods to you all curtly, and he introduces himself as Thin Cad. And he then looks to the dragon and begins saying something that you guys can't really hear from this time. The dragon nods, and Thin Cad turns to you all and he says, "I have been following you through your journey, and you have all acted nobly, and you have not brought unwanted destruction to this place, which is greatly appreciated. For your actions and for us judging your character, we have decided to allow you access to our town of Danos." And you also see the dragon's form shrink, and then he himself becomes a man. He has scruffy silver hair with a willowy tea green shirt tucked into dark slate gray leather pants. I can't read. Though a man in his 30s by appearance, his topaz eyes still show the ancient dragon within. Some patches of skin, like around the eyes, down the neck, and near the wrists, have barely visible, slightly green scales rather than smooth skin, almost as if the dragon could emerge at any moment. He is mystical and wonderful in appearance, but also presents a deadly air that makes you hesitant to approach. And the man nods to Thin Cad, and Thin Cad walks through the archway and then disappears suddenly. And the man smiles at you all, and he says, "Apologies for the intimidating entrance there. I had to be certain. My name is Caliando. I built this temple with Azar. Welcome to Danos." And he turns around and leads you guys into the town. And that's where we're going to end today.
Dang! We encountered our first actual dragon, guys!